Hello my darlings, it's Chanel and welcome to the mid-year tarot tag. I think I've changed a little bit of the prompts since last year's one. Hello Bluebell. And I'm pretty happy with how it is now, so I think this will be the prompts going forward. Apologize for the construction noise. It's going to go on for 2 years and it's winter, so by the time they pack up at 6 p.m. it's pitch black and I cannot film. So we're just going to roll with it. Hopefully it's not too annoying. Blue, babes, that's... Oh my God. Can you? Yeah. All right, but let's just get on with it. So the first prompt is the deck you've used the most so far in 2025. Blue, do not. No, I see you. For me, that is the Pulp Girls Tarot. So this is a mass market deck. I have been using this a lot because this is the deck that I am using as the size guide for my crochet tarot bags. So whenever I put it in to measure out the bag, I pull a card because it's always out. This has become now my daily tarot deck. And to be completely honest, I think it is the right tarot deck for me to use at the moment. I've gone through a lot of stuff, a lot of trials and tribulations, and the way that this deck is illustrated is very... Babes, come on! Is very gentle and sweet. It's not confronting, it's very accessible, it's cute, it has positive vibes, and the guidebook as well, it is what I would call a skewed positive deck, okay? So even the harder cards, or the tougher cards, let's look at the Three of Swords, for instance, which is probably one of the worst. Not the worst, you know what I mean? Like one of the most negative experience cards you can have. And it says, life is tough, but so are you. This too shall pass. Am I treating myself with tenderness? What lessons have I learned from this trauma? I allow myself to feel and process all my emotions, even the painful ones. Heartbreak and emotional pain, feeling hopeless or adrift, painful transition period of deep healing, finding comfort in your survival, forgiveness and moving on. So there is nothing really negative in there. Even the cards that are harder to deal with, they reframe them in a way that makes them manageable, you know, that gives you hope, that allows you to view it in a way that can give you a course of direction to follow. It allows you to tackle it in a doable way. You know, you're not going to feel just despair and hopelessness and icky or any of that. It makes everything something you can do. There is always something you can do in every situation, every answer, yada yada. Where do you have power? How can you use it? How can you use this for your benefit? Which angle can you look at this from to make it less terrifying or scary? And that's what I needed. This is like a hug in deck form, and it doesn't matter what card comes out. I know I'm not gonna, feel awful about it, because when I read the guidebook, it frames it in a way that is within my energy to deal with and to move forward with. So I have really needed that. And I remember there was one, I have the book channel, and there was, I used the tarot cards to choose one of the books I'm going to read that month, and I pulled out the True Black Tarot, which is a favorite tarot of mine, but it is not a sugar-coated deck. It is not a tender, nurturing deck. And I pulled a card from it, and straight away I was like, yeah, no, I can't deal with the harsh truth right now. Like, this still is giving you the truth, but it's in a way, like I said, it's with a spoonful of sugar, and it helps the medicine go down. So yeah, this is the deck that I've used the most because it's always out now. And while I'm in this very vulnerable state and, I'm going through it, this is the only sort of tarot deck that I can stomach at the moment. So yeah, this was the Pulp Girls Tarot deck. The next prompt is a new deck that came into your collection this year. If you don't, it can just be a deck that you have newly put into your rotation. Take that as you will, make these prompts work for you and your practice and your deck acquiring habits. So for me, that is the Killing Tarot. This is an indie deck. It's got beautiful holographic sparkly edging and matte cardstock. This is an oracle, and the theme of this one is love. So I used to have the deck of this creator's called You Are Here, and I loved it, but it had a very strong scent, and sensory wise I could not get past it. and I kept hoping they would reprint it in like a different cardstock, and I think they did. If you got into this Kickstarter very quickly, you could add that as an add-on. Unfortunately, I did not get there quick enough, so I missed out. So I got this instead because I still like the artist style, and this is very like neon pop princess pastel prettiness, and I didn't really have a lot of decks in this sort of style, so I grabbed it. It's because it's got a very specific theme to do with forms of love. I would say it's not a super general applicable deck, but I still enjoy it. And when it makes sense for me to use this deck, I do. I love the way it's formatted too in the guidebook. So you've got I just dig this creator's aesthetic style, and it's very fun. And like, yeah, it's not a deck I use a lot, but I'm glad I got it. There was no buyer's remorse with this one. Mean girls. So yeah, it's super cute, and it's the Killig Oracle. The next prompt is a deck that could be better. And so this could mean you like the deck, but you wish it had a different font or a different cardstock or borders or no borders. There's just something that you would change about the deck to make it even better for you. I don't have this deck anymore because I have passed it on to my mum for her to have a play with. And it's the Astara Oracle, the Seasons of the Witch Astara. For me, I'll just put pictures up of what it looks like currently. I think this would have been better in a brighter color story. I felt like this was too dark and muted and somber for the Season of Astara. I was expecting, a lot more playful energy and bright colors. So this one, I think, would have benefited if they had chose a different color palette. Then we have prompt 4, a deck that you are currently using. So I have pulled this out of the closet. This is the Tea Time Oracle. This is an indie deck, so these are the backs. I edged mine. It's in a very cool matte that's upside down. I'll just show you some of the cards before I go through the guidebook. It's winter, almost. It's the last month of autumn here in Australia. We actually had a very unseasonably warm autumn, and it's finally cooling, getting crisp and cold. So I have found myself really craving teas. I don't really drink coffee in winter for some reason. I don't know why, but and same with matcha, which is normally my go-to. In winter, I prefer tea brews. And so I've been pulling this out to say what brew would be best for my body today. So with this one, you do get some keywords for the tea, and then it's a lot about the tea, as well as an ingredient on how to make the tea. And then there's kind of a divinatory meaning here as well. So yeah, I've just been really enjoying at the beginning of the week, saying what tea would suit me best. It also has other things like creamer and, tea press and things like that, but most of it is a tea-based deck, and I feel like it's been pretty apt in terms of what my body needs. And yeah, I've just been enjoying it. Just keep it in the kitchen next to my kettle, and then I pull a card for the week, and I also take on the keywords that go with it when I'm drinking my tea, trying to visualize it benefiting me. So this is a deck that I do not use at all the rest pretty much most of the year, and then it tends to be a winter deck for me, and that is the Tea Time Oracle. Okay, for prompt 5 we have biggest surprise, and you can take that however you wish. For me, I guess it's leaning a bit more negative because I've chosen the Victorian Fairy Tarot. And so this is the deck. It's got gilded edging, which is sharp. It's one of the sharp ones. As you can see, my deck came bowed, and it's on this satin finish cardstock, which is very delicate. You do not want to bend it because it stays bent. This was an out of print deck, and when I saw that it was being relaunched on Kickstarter, I absolutely jumped on it because it's giving Magic Faraway Tree vibes, and I love this kind of fairy aesthetic. It's totally my jam. So I backed this. Now, first surprise came with how long it took to receive this deck. It was almost 2 years. They kept changing, say, printers and things like that, and it just took a really, really long time. And for me, if a deck takes more than a year to arrive, I don't love that. I prefer if the decks was already made. They've chosen their printer, they've run their samples, they're happy with it. All they need is the funds to make the big order. That's how I feel most comfortable with, you know, Kickstarter decks being run. So yeah, they took forever. They did end up bulking up the order, like they threw in a mini deck and all this sort of stuff, but I didn't really care about it because unfortunately when I got it in person, I don't know if anyone else feels this way. So they did zoom into the images compared to the original deck. So these are zoomed in. And I just, even with, especially with the font, I don't think it's crisp. There's a fuzzy blurriness to it to me. It's the resolution doesn't feel great. I don't like the cardstock. I'm not impressed with the quality. I'm sorry to say, considering like this is a more expensive deck, and because it took so long, and the reason it took so long is because they weren't happy with the quality and they went with somebody else. But yeah, the gilding is sharp. The cards are bowed. You have to be very careful with them. They're quite delicate, and the imagery itself is fuzzy. The guidebook is lovely. It's a hardcover guidebook. That's pretty, all well and good, but I used it and then I just didn't, we have not bonded. I still love the artwork, but this deck and I don't know, there's a disconnect. And like I said, I'm hoping maybe different seasons, like I'll use it every season, might help, or I might actually have to find a pairing for this, like a bonded pair situation. I'm not getting rid of it because I do like the artwork. This is one of those decks where I'm happy just to keep for the artwork and the style of it. But this was, yeah, a big surprise because I was almost 100% certain that I would be absolutely head over heels in love with this deck, that this would be just one of the highlights of my deck purchases. And then in the end ended up being the biggest disappointment because I had such high hopes, because I'd been in love with it for so many years and it was out of print, and then I was finally going to get it, and then wait, no, you're going to wait another 2 years to actually get it, and then the quality's not going to be fantastic, and then you're going to read with it and it's just going to be a very meh reader for you. And I don't know, I just was so disappointed. I just saw it going a completely different way and it bummed me out. But yeah, I'm not getting rid of it. I will keep this even if it's just for the idea of it. It's one of those situations. But yeah, it didn't go as I thought it was going to go, and that's why it was a big surprise to me, because I really was shocked by how it wound up. Like, I just don't feel called to use it. I don't know. It just makes me sad, but it's okay because at least it's still pretty. The next prompt is your deck crush. So what deck do you currently have a crush on? For me, I'm going to go with the Journey Tarot. This was previously one of my biggest surprise decks, because when I first got it, there was a disconnect. I felt like I couldn't read with it. I felt like it was a bit strange, a bit odd, especially how it's written in the guidebook. It's a bit romantic and poetic. So you've got Six of Air, which is Six of Swords, Sun in Aquarius. And the keywords are science, examination, exploration. And it says logic of science and mystery of faith. They come together in a dance of grace. Beauty of the universe captured in equations, and the mystery of the divine in revelations. Science delves into the depths of matter, and spirituality to be free from the latter. They might seem different at first glance, but in love they find a sweet romance. Glance. I wouldn't recommend this to a beginner at all. I think that those meanings are quite confusing and not strictly, Rider-Waite-Smith sort of style meanings. But then I just started working with it more. I am obsessed with artwork, okay? This artwork, crushing on hard. I freaking love it. This is a very fantasy-leaning deck to me, so this feels like fantasy books and fantasy worlds, maybe a bit of sci-fi in there. I love the linen cardstock, but it just ended up, I don't know what happened, but we just ended up vibing, and I had some great reads, and I just became enamored with it. It is so endeared to me now. But yeah, hey Bluebell. It is a massive crush deck for me. I use it a lot too if I'm reading a fantasy book, because I just feel like I said the energies pair so well with it. And I'll be honest, I don't really go to the guidebook at all. I just do my own intuition with this one. And a lot of it is based on the imagery rather than traditional Rider-Waite-Smith meanings. It sort of does its own thing. And yeah, we're best friends and I have a massive crush. It's so pretty. It's so pretty. You know, I love it. I think this could be also a great, if you're a creative writer, story prompt deck, because they're just so evocative to me. These characters, these all feel like characters and worlds. So yeah, this is absolutely, and I just love the depictions of rooms too. Just rooms. They just do it so well. The rooms, the landscape, and the characters. Yeah, this was, I'm so glad I gave it more time, despite the initial sort of cold, emotionless sort of attachment I had with it when I found it just super confusing and I didn't know what to make of it. But yeah, I love it. Never, ever going to get rid of it. I just adore it. So yeah, massive crush on the Journey Tarot. I think when I pulled card from this too for my book channel, I had a lot of people say like, oh, what is that deck? Like, that looks really cool. This is one of my favorite death cards of all time. And yeah, I think it's very eye-catching. So this was the Journey Tarot. Apologies for my voice too, guys, but I'm just going through it. The next prompt is a favorite single tarot card from a deck, or it could be an oracle card. So please keep that in mind for this entire thing. It can be tarot decks, oracle decks, Lenormand decks, playing cards, you know, just be open to mold this to best fit you. So favorite single card, I am picking a card from my Limerence tarot deck, and it is the Hermit. So I absolutely resonate with the Hermit. Out of all of the major arcanas, this one feels like it's the most relevant to me. I put some of my favorite things in here. So I've got reading and books. I've got an inner child situation happening here, or guide, what have you. I've got her looking through a portal to the universe. So it's that universal guidance, wisdom, knowledge, introspection, spiritual awakening, guiding light. I've got Amanita muscati mushrooms. I don't use them for my trips, but they're just in there to represent the psilocybin, opening up a pathway to enlightenment and a deeper understanding of self and the cosmos and the interplay between everything. So this is one of my favorite cards. I just felt like, okay, yeah, this is how I view the Hermit personally, and it's from my Limerence Tarot. The next prompt is a deck that makes you happy. So I've chosen an indie oracle, and it is the Little Ghosts Oracle. Like, oh my god, look at that. I don't know if it's going to come up on screen, but you've got beautiful holographic ghosties. Once again, glitter holographic edging on the sides, and on the front of the cards there is also this glitter spot gloss. This is just such a darling deck. I love it. It's full of festivities, so the ghosties love to celebrate. It's also very based in place, especially in the home. It's fun, it's vibrant, it's feel good, even though the messages in this do hit, they have depth. It's just done in a way which is joyous. It's a celebration, and I'm obsessed with it. I'll show you what I mean. So it's bilingual, but in the cards you have keywords, you have a place. So this one says amusement or celebration place, and you have a temporality. This one says in the day. And I'm a sucker for like a bit of a nuanced guidebook. And it's definitely that. It just brings me so much joy, and I'm never glum when I'm using this deck. If I want to pick me up, if I want to boost, if I want to feel merry, I take these little ghosties out to play. They're so cute. But yeah, it's just so fun with all the glitter and the spot gloss and the color story in this. It's just adorbs, and I dare anyone to feel down when pulling this deck out. It's like I said, even the sadder cards, it's still very nourishing and uplifting. So this was the Little Ghosts Oracle. So the next prompt is a deck with a great guidebook. So for this one, I've chosen this indie oracle, and it's called The Lost and Found. So these are the backs, which I'm obsessed with those backs. They're stunning. I'll just quickly show you just some of the cards so you can see what the style is like for this one. With the card, there's a huge amount. There's a lot of cards in this deck, which I love. But the cards also have a sort of reversed pairing. So there'll be one called like Body Temple, which I thought was really interesting. But yeah, this is the style of the cards, but let me show you the guidebook. So we've got a little chunky guidebook, beautiful matte cover. And this has its own system. So as you can see, there's the 7 directions in there. And I'm not going to get into that, but I love it when things have a cool system that adds another extra element to it. So here we go, we've got Flame Mother. So you've got a picture, you have a question down the bottom, what beliefs need to be transformed at this time? You have the main chunk of the message, and then you've got these extra bits. This says illuminated. We have highly active, passionate energy. You've got the shadow, stuck in obsession, unrequited love, codependency with parents. Then you've got keywords, raw power, extremes, obsession, and boundaries. And then you have a practical medicine, single flame meditation, Trataka, sweat lodge, or sauna. And I just love it. I love it. Every time I read this, it hits. I always find it profound. I love all of the additional things, especially the practical medicine. This one has a mantra here. Some of them are not always exactly the same. They might differ a little bit. It just depends on the card, I guess. But yeah, I am obsessed with this guidebook, and I love it. It's fantastic. And yeah, this was the, oh, look at the moon rabbit. This was the Lost and Found Oracle. The next question is, what deck do you want by the end of the year or is still waiting on? So this might be, something you've put on your list of, might purchase at some time in the future, or it might be a deck that is coming up, or it might be a deck you've backed and haven't received yet. For me, I would like to get the Kickstarter deck that I backed called ETA Tarot. And it's been almost 2 years for this one too. The creator is supposedly going through some health crises. So this is nothing to do with printers. They're just unwell. But yeah, it's been 2 years and I don't know. I'm not having a great vibe in feeling that we will actually end up getting a deck. So this might be my first experience where I've paid for something and gotten nothing. Because they're just not really giving updates. And I understand I have chronic illness as well, and I'm always getting sick and getting new things all the time, but just a lack of communication is making me feel a bit dubious and weary. So I don't know what's going on with this at all, but yeah, I really wanted it looked really cool. So I don't know, what is the protocol, guys, like with Kickstarter? If any of you have had experiences, how many years can go past before it's like, that it's never going to come? Did Kickstarter do anything? Like, I don't know. Is it just you just wait indefinitely? I have no idea. But yeah, that's a deck that I would really hope to eventually get. Do I think it's going to come this year? No, I really don't think so, unfortunately. The next question is, which deck hasn't been used yet or barely, but you definitely want to work with it this year? I can't believe I haven't picked this up yet. This is an indie oracle deck and it's called the Mushroom Oracle. Considering we've only got like 2 weeks of autumn left, I really should have worked with this already, but I've just been flat out with a lot of other things that have had to take precedence. I have not really been practicing with my cards at all, besides just the daily pull from the tarot while I measure up bags. And I'm feeling it. When you feel like you're starting to be a bit unmoored, you feel like you need to get in touch with yourself again. You need some grounding. Like, cards are very grounding for me, and a very healing practice. And I definitely feel like I've neglected them. And I am literally setting aside a day this week to work with my cards and journal and get back into some sort of routine with them. But yeah, I have to use this while it's still autumnal, because this one has a very autumnal feel for me. I absolutely adore this deck. This company, all of their decks are gorgeous. If I had the funds and the space, I would buy each and every single one of them. I really would. They're all very, very beautiful. But if I could only have one, for me, mushrooms hold an extra special place in my heart and my soul. So I did get this one and it is gorgeous. I will say where is the guidebook? The guidebook could have been meatier. It's very simple, as you can see. It's a little mysterious and ambiguous with the way that's written up. It's one of those a bit more poetic and flowery meanings. But yeah, the style, oh my God, I'm in love with it. I love it. It's so moody and it's collage, and it's got, okay, this one is the only card I actually don't like in this. And it's got the old school paintings, the found art, and so many flowers and mushrooms. It's just chef's kiss. It's absolutely gorgeous. It's beautiful quality. And yeah, I really do love this deck, and I have to. I'm actually going to leave it out just to make sure I definitely at least pull one card before autumn is done and the final leaf has fallen. So yeah, this is the mushroom oracle. The next prompt is a favorite video you've made or watched. My favorite one, that I haven't made many, as you might have noticed, because yeah, haven't been spending much time on my tarot practice. Pretty much all my free time has been going to reading books and health stuff and whatever else. But I did manage to carve aside some time to do the V-Day decks, which is a prompt that I think I made it last year or the year before. And so I thought I have to do my own prompt. And I love Valentine's Day, even though I am a single Pringle. I still love it. So they're all types of love, and I always have fun with that. And I did dress up in a little Cupid outfit kind of thing, Queen of Hearts, I think it was. And that was just a lot of fun, finding some flirty love theme based decks. So yeah, my V-Day decks was my favorite video that I've made this year. Okay, the next question is pull a card for the next 6 months, or pick a card whose energy you want to bring in the next 6 months. So I'm going to do both. I'm going to pull a tarot card from my own personal, what's this deck called? I call it Halcyon Tarot, of the energy that I want. Do I want a lover's? Yeah, but at the moment, more than that, I want something that comes after I am better and the rest of my life is on a solid mooring and foundation. So if I had to pick one card's energy from this, it's so cliche. I should have gone through this beforehand. Oh, that's a nice energy, but no, I'm going for the big one. I bet you it's the last card. Oh my God, guys. Oh no, here we are. One card. Okay, if I'm going to pick one energy, it's the Sun. I want positive vibes. I want healing. I want vibrancy, potency, life force. I really need it. I need it to be able to cope with everything else. I think if you've got this energy, everything else, like they say when you are learning tarot, whatever card is paired with the sun will bring out the more positive aspects of the other card. It softens it, it brightens it. It's a positivity magnifier. So that is definitely, especially going into winter now too, I guess, I definitely would love some sun energy to carry me through. And I do consider myself a bit more of a sun witch. The energy of the sun is something I definitely F with. And I used to be a very bright, sunny, energetic, vibrant person before I became chronically ill. You know, I was buzzing and beaming and just a little ball of sunshine. And yeah, I still hope that I can get back there one day, but you know, I'm aware that I probably will not ever get that youthful vigor and vim back. But yes, I would like to be my own sun as well. Remind myself that I can be my own sun too, and I can shine for myself when everything's feeling dark and gloomy. So that's the energy I want to have for the rest of the year. But for pulling a card, I don't want to pull a tarot card because like I said, I don't want any negative kind of cards. Like I don't want to pull it and it says, you know, 5 of Pentacles. No, thank you. So I'm going to pull a oracle card instead from something that I generally find to be quite positive, this deck. That is Nova, kicking out all her litter onto the floor. So I'll turn that, I got that very quickly. I didn't even really shuffle. So what's coming in the next 6 months for me, we've got the past, releasing, rebirth, spring. And so I listened as my soul told me to let the past go so that I may awaken to how much I have grown. Let's read from the guidebook. Releasing, rebirth, spring, alchemy. I am awakening and appreciating the flowers of my soul. Spring season of the soul. Less mind, more heart. Less thinking, more being. This is a sign of rebirth, a positive, that's the sound of me making money, a positive omen of renewal and a reminder that it is time to move on from whatever it was, from whatever it is, a relationship, a dark night of the soul, a psychological limitation, a challenge, growing pains, or even just general life stagnation. A change is about to happen or wants to happen, but you may not be letting it, even if it's at a subconscious level. Your soul is reaching out to you. Can you feel it? Can you hear it? It is time to let go now. It is time to trust. You have overcome a winter of sorts, or about to. It has been harsh in its lessons, but it is no longer serving you. You have already learned what you were meant to. There is no need to continue overanalyzing, holding on to, or ruminating on this winter. You just need to channel your energy in a new direction. Where will you channel this free energy? The seasons are changing within you whether you want them to or not. Are you resisting because you were too in your head? Your soul is blooming from all the rain, pain that you alchemized into power, but you have yet to see the garden that has grown within you. Everything you have transformed within yourself, wisdom, grace, resilience, and shedding of skins. Not everything needs to be mentally examined. Sometimes the life source within you just flows without needing your conscious attention. Sometimes we just bloom naturally, with the gentle guidance of spirit at our backs. Sometimes our heart is the one that needs to lead. Manifestation enhancer. Combine meditation and visualization upon waking or whenever you feel called to. It could just be a moment of your day. Imagine the spring within. You are walking through the garden of your soul. The last snow of winter is melting and the sun is warm on your skin. You are walking away from a cold, dark winter, ready to embrace the changing season within you. Yeah, okay, I'm very happy with that card for the next 6 months. So this was the mid-year tarot tag. Feel free to join in. Until next time, stay well, Star Child.